Hello and welcome to another video. Today we are going to be working on the Chevy Sonic that I purchased a few weeks ago. I finally have all the parts in. I finally have some time to work on it. Brought it home from the lot. It runs really good mechanically. BMW is still waiting on a few pieces. But today we are going to replace the airbags on it. So we have the driver airbag to do, driver knee airbag, and the seat belt. And if you are watching this video to find out how to do this, you will see it in this video and hopefully you will find it helpful. Here are the three parts: steering wheel, knee, and the seat belt retractor. So I'm going to start with this because I think it will be the easiest one to do, and then probably the knee airbag, and we'll finish with the seat belt. First thing we got to do is turn the steering wheel upside down, like so, because what we need is these two openings right here. Let's see if it will focus. There they are. You'll need to take a small screwdriver and from the smaller hole push it this way, and it'll basically release a retainer that's holding the airbag. You will also want to undo this lever and pull the steering wheel back towards you and down as much as you can, because if not, it's pretty tight. So I did this side, this one popped out, so now we're going to do this side. There it is, just like so. And now airbag comes down. So here are these clips right here, and they are the ones that hold the airbag in place. And if I go in there with my screwdriver, you guys see that? Because once the airbag blew, it melted this whole portion. I could get new wires and just snip it here and essentially just tap into it, so I could put it into the new airbag. But I think I just want to get a complete clock spring, which is this plastic piece with the wiring right here, and it'll just come with a brand new set, just so that I think it's a better option. So while we wait for those parts, I am going to move this aside and we are going to start on this airbag. But if your purpose is just to remove the airbag and replace it and you already have this, then put your new airbag in, connect the two pins, and just push it gently in, and it will clip into these brackets and you're all set. For this airbag, we have to remove a few Phillips head screws, which are 2 here and I believe 3, maybe 4 in that corner down here. We got 7 of these screws out. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then you gently pull on this. As you can see, it's being held by these metal brackets. And our goal is to expose the bolts that are holding the airbag in place. Here's what it looks like. I did disconnect this pin that controls the headlights, and this piece just falls down. So here we have the airbag. We have 2, I believe they are 10mm. It is a 10mm, so we are going to get these bolts out. And there's one on this side and one on the other side, and that should release the airbag. The airbag just drops down. Now we have to disconnect this ground wire, which is also 10mm. Old airbag is off, so now we separate this connection. To do so, pull back this red clip and then push down on it and pull apart. Very easy. Now we have the new airbag. Reconnect the pins, tighten the bottom bolts, see how it's holding on. Now connect this pin and put the clips back in and tighten this plastic trim. That's it. Your airbag is in, everything is put back together. This is the trim for your fuse box, which I do not have right now, but that's a side note. Now we get to replace the seatbelt. I am starting from the rear, so it has this cover right here. You could take a very, very thin knife or a flathead screwdriver, pry that open, and that opens up a 10mm bolt. So I will start working on that and show you guys what it looks like once it's out. Here's what it looks like, if it will focus, but you guys have a general idea. Now we want to separate this housing and then push down and out. Here's how that comes out. So while I'm in here, I am going to put the new one in and then just pull it up, close it up, there we go. Now from both sides, you want to pull apart this trim. You could start from the bottom. You don't need to do a lot, but from both sides, I could see the retractor right here. Go around. This one will probably be better. You guys can see that big bolt right there, and there's a retractor. Now start working around, removing the plastic bits. Pull up. This one gets connected a little bit awkwardly and is held underneath. So they kind of overlap. This piece goes over that one, rear one goes over this one, so this one kind of sits underneath. But we will remove that. With everything exposed, you will need a T50. These are usually pretty long, so have patience. We got it moving, so it will come out. Before we take it out completely, you'll want to release this pin. There we go. Now we could take the retractor out. This piece is also held by clips, so it just kind of slides up. So once you undo the clips at the bottom, it'll just drop down. So we have another one up here. This one is also a T50. I apologize about the lighting. This is the last remaining piece, which sits right up here and is just a clip that squeezes together. I use this. Just gently got up behind there, applied a little bit of pressure and pulled, and it came out. Now we work backwards. I'll start with this little clip, drop this in, and then pop the clip in. There we go. Sorry. So that's what it is. Drop the bottom piece in and then push the clip in. Put the seatbelt retractor in, thread the bolt in by hand, and then when you can't do it anymore, use your wrench. Once that's done, you could put the airbag or the seatbelt clip back in. There we go. Now the seatbelt should be moving in and out freely. Now we can do this part. That's done. Now do the plastic trim here. Make sure the rubber is on the outside. You'll probably have to fix it. Now we get to connect this piece at the bottom here. There we go. There we go, seatbelt works. Last thing is put the trim back together and you are done. The new clock spring came in. Here is the part. So now we are working on removing everything back here. I disconnected 2 of these harnesses or pins. Now we are going to take out these bolts up here, and they are T30. Let's see if I'll be able to do this one-handed. Okay, there we go. So do that for all 3 of these right here. With this kind of slit out, I see that these wires are in the way. So since we are not going to be reusing them, and since I have new ones, we're just gonna cut it this way. Move the airbag out of the way, and then we could slide this over. If you are not doing this how I'm doing it, you should be able to remove these 2 pins and then disconnect everything. But since mine are melted on, I have no other choice but to cut it. So now we have this open space. Now we are working on the last one, which is a T50. And now with a little bit of wiggling, almost have it. Keep in mind, I'm doing this with one hand. So you guys see that in there? This is what it's sitting on. With two hands, it's a lot easier. Here's our fancy steering wheel. Put it right below me. And here is our clock spring that I have to replace. Next, take out two of these screws, and now we essentially just have to separate this plastic piece right here. And there's a third screw, which is held right here. So once you do that, as you can see, it's literally just kind of plastic to plastic brackets. Could pull that apart. So this should give us enough room to disconnect this clock spring and to replace it. Now I should be able to take it off. Awesome, which I am. So there are two connectors back here. This one, which is super easy, push down on the top right here, and that one will come out. This connector, you have to take the red piece out, and then you push down on this top portion right here. It almost acts as a spring, and then that part will come out. So this red piece lives underneath right here and acts as a locking mechanism. So now the last thing we have to do, if you guys see these little brackets, so you have to squeeze them all together, and then that slides off. Okay, I got this part connected. Struggled just a little bit just because you have to line it up perfectly. So what I did was actually go back and look at the video I just recorded to see the positioning, and I actually had to remove this plastic bracket that was holding the clock spring in place to turn it enough to make this fit perfectly. So now we get to put it back on and connect those pins. I will clearly need two hands to do that. Here's what that looks like. I did the yellow one first and then put the orange piece in, or pinkish orange, behind it, and then I did this one after. So now we are going to put the 4 screws in here, line it up perfectly, get it tied down, and then reassemble this plastic portion. Plastic pieces were put together fairly easy. Remember, screw those 3 screws back in. Steering wheel is back on. Seems like it's locked. I hope it won't be an issue, but we got everything fed through. Now we are putting this piece back together, starting to connect the wires, and then airbag, and I think we're pretty close to being done. T50 in, T30s in, connectors connected from all the sides. Now all we have to do is put the airbag in. Pop these things out, and now we get to put them in the airbag and slide it back in. I got these pins in. Slightly struggled because very tight space, and these are very, very brittle. So, you know, push down a little bit here, push down a little bit here, a little bit here. Nice and easy, just so that we are extremely careful with this. So I think now we are ready to slide the airbag into place. And if it honks, I'm sorry. Okay, there we go. And airbag is in. Awesome. So airbag light is still on. That will need to get reset, which is nothing new or surprising. And steering wheel moves. That's gonna be it, guys. This cheap Chevy Cruze that I purchased, Chevy Sonic that I purchased. You guys saw the video of me picking it up. Now you guys saw me rebuilding it and putting it back on its feet. Now all I need is to take it to the detail shop, get it cleaned up, photographed, and listed for sale. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing, and I will see you guys in another video.